Hey yo, it's Paul at YoPolly.com, and today we're looking at, yes, the all-new Motorola Droid running on Android 2.0 on the Verizon network. So let's get down to it. Okay, so here's the Motorola Droid, both in landscape and portrait mode. And it's a decent looking phone. It's fairly sleek, but it does have pretty rectangular corners, and it's not the thinnest phone that I've used, and it tends to be a bit heavy. It feels heavy in my pocket. It feels I don't know, it feels a little bit clumsy, unlike a lot of the nicer phones that are out that are more shapely and sleek, like the Palm Pre. So basically you got your headphone jack on the top, which you've probably seen in other videos. On the side you've got your mini USB port, which charges it, and you can hook it to your computer. It also, that's where it docks into the car dock or the desktop dock. Nothing on the bottom. Over here you've got your camera, dedicated camera button, which is nice. Also works as a snooze button on the alarm clock mode. And then you've got your volume up and down rocker. So it's fairly simple. Along the bottom you've got your back key, your menu key, your home key, and your search key, which is reversed. It's in a different order than most of the other Droid phones, so I don't really, or Android phones. I don't really know why that is. Here are some of the things I like best about the phone. The calendar is important to me. So calendar, you can start it out in month view, and then when you click on any particular day, it'll take you to what's happening. Right now I'm looking at list view, but you can change it to week view, or you can change it to day view, and so it shows you your highlighted items. You can also flip through day to day and see your different items that are happening from day to day. And if you're in month view, where's month, you can flip through months by going up: December, January, February. So it's pretty quick and easy to get through the calendar. Whoa! So the Droid comes with Android 2.0, the latest Android OS software, whatever you want to call it, operating system. So you're limited to just 3 screens, which I find probably okay, because the HTC Hero and the Droid Ares, I think, has 6 screens, and then you can do these scene things where you've got, I don't know, multiple, whatever scene you're into, you can have a screen for it. I think that's a bit overkill, but 3 screens to me seems a little bit underkill, especially because the Droid doesn't have its own, like the Sense system that Verizon has or that HTC has. It's just Android. And so some of the widgets, like the clock, they're not as small, they're not as movable on the screen, so you get a little bit less for the real estate than you do with, say, the HTC model, which are much more customizable. And it's nice to have several home screens that you can put widgets that'll run, say, Pandora or Facebook or Twitter, so you don't have to keep opening programs like you do on the iPhone. You have to open it and then you have to wait for it to come up. The beauty of this is that you can have them running and they're on the screen, and when you go to it, it updates and you're done. So I would say Android 2.0 standalone is not as slick, not as sweet as HTC has put into theirs. 10.4, 10.4. Where's my off button? The other thing I like about the device, I'll just kind of go through it and show you. So you've got regular view, you've got landscape view, which only works in some apps. You've got the full slide out QWERTY keyboard and this sort of D-pad. The only thing I found this D-pad to be useful for is if you're trying to edit text, you can use the D-pad to go back and forth. You can use it to scroll through things on your screen as well, but personally, I don't like the keys. I don't know if you can see this, but they're really, really flat, and there's not a lot of differentiation between what key you're on. So as you're typing, it's easy, especially with thumbs, because it's widescreen, you're going to want to use 2 thumbs to type. I tend to hit more than one key, which, you know, in the end, I'm going to wear out the back or the delete key the most because I'm constantly correcting myself. So if I'm going to type here, I can turn the keyboard this way, and it's much easier to type. Now watch as I'm typing, notice, I don't know if you can see that, it gives you suggestions. So instead of typing a whole word, I can just click on it. I find that I don't even use the slide out keyboard. Even though it's a nice feature, it's a solid piece of hardware, it's that much extra weight on the phone that probably isn't necessary. So another feature that I really like about the phone is the camera. No matter what screen you're in, whether you're at your home screen or on a different screen, you simply press and hold the top camera button down and it goes into camera mode. So now I'm looking at this pillow behind me and I can take a picture of it. And it's a little bit laggy, like you can see that it really hasn't processed the photo quite yet. And at some point, there we go, now I'm back to camera mode. And then to see it, you just press on this little button over here and it brings up the image. Again, it's a bit slow, much slower than I would expect from a camera. But the photo quality is pretty amazing. I mean, I don't know if you can see the texture of the pillow. It's very good. Another cool feature that I can't overlook, this is something that I do like about the Droid. It has a mind of its own. I don't really know sometimes. But it's got car home. There we go. So you can do navigation, you can do searches, you can do a voice search. And it's easy because when you're driving, you don't want to be grabbing your phone. You put this in the mount, this is what shows up. And with just a few taps on a large screen, you can get to where you want to go. You've got the weather, you've got access to your music, access to your media, your photos. You can make it lighter or darker. This is kind of the nighttime mode, so you can put it next to your bed and sleep. And you can set the alarm. You can set several different alarms, and you can set different ringtones as well. And from here you can also access your regular screen, so you can get messages that are in the window pane if there are any. You can go to different programs while it's sitting on the dock, and so it still works as your regular phone. But then when you go back home, it goes back in the nightstand mode. I think it's pretty sweet. It's one of my favorite features. The other thing is, I don't know if you can see this. You know, this is the 4th Droid phone device that I've had, the actual Motorola Droid. And they've all done that. They all drop the signal as soon as I make a call. It shows that I have a good signal until I'm on a phone call. And the folks on the other end say, yeah, you obviously have a Droid because you sound like it. And that's when they can hear me. Most of the time they're like, hello, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I'm looking behind me, I'm like, where's my network? You know, my network's there because when I did the BlackBerry Tour review, it had full signal in my house. It had full signal in the basement of a steel reinforced concrete structure. This one, even outside of the front of my house, the signal goes up and down when I make calls. So I think there goes another bug. You know, it's like we need to get some raid or something here and spray this thing to get all the bugs out of it. Or, you know, we could just open it up and let them free if, you know, you're not into killing bugs or something like that. I don't know. Whatever. How do I turn this thing off? So there you have it. That's my 2 cents on the Motorola Droid. A very cool concept that is a bit disappointing. Keyboard, you know, you might as well keep it like that. It's more useful. The weight, you know, if you like lifting weights, you could probably use this during lunch to kind of tone up the guns. I'd look at the Android, what's it called? The Droid Ares. If you're going to go with Verizon right now, and I got all these bugs flying out of the phone are kind of getting in my ear. Or you might wait for the Dragon. I hear that HTC is coming out with a Dragon that's supposed to be twice as fast as the Droid. No hard keyboard, but supposedly a very capable phone. If you want to save some money and you don't want to wait around because who knows when that's going to come out, I might vote for the Ares. YoPoly.com, YoPoly.com, YoPoly.com. Weirdo.